You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Snubbed again and brushed off. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I know how you find video analyses extremely helpful. It provides you with a real-life example of the various aspects of narcissism in action, and it also enables you to understand what's actually going on. With many photographs and videos, so-called body language experts often try and tell you what's going on. They may well be accurate when they're talking about individuals who are not narcissists, but invariably they don't fully understand narcissism, or, in certain instances, they just seek to copy what I say, because they don't understand narcissism. They would do well just to remain focusing on non-narcissistic examples of body language because that's their area of expertise. Leave narcissism to the expert, me. With that stated, you are able to understand why these narcissists are behaving in the way that they are. In some instances, you would never have necessarily picked up on the behaviour in the first place. It's a blink or you'll miss it instance. But once you do see it, you're like, ah, yes, fascinating. In other instances, you will see the behaviour and think to yourself, where on earth does this behaviour come from? Why have they done what they have done? What is it that is driving the behaviour? And thus, you are able to understand that because I'm able to dissect and explain it for you. And we're going to have some further examples of that in relation to Harry's wife. Harry's wife believes that she's the most important person on the planet. Her narcissism, like any narcissist, has to put her in that position. With her, it's all the more ridiculous because we know that she's a talent-free zone, that she's a pretty banal individual that has very little to say that's of note, that she has no real talent, and she's free of charisma. Nevertheless, that isn't going to hold her back. As propelled by her narcissism, she must inflict herself upon as many people as possible in order to pursue the prime aims. And the fact that she got lucky by marrying old Fantapubes means that she gets herself in a position of being placed before many people. Naturally, she has numerous problems as of late because more and more people find her boring and positively dislike her, which means it becomes increasingly difficult for her to maintain that control over people. However, in the circumstances, her narcissism has to continue to fight to do so. And we saw recently, of course, the appearance at the Kevin Costner fundraiser, where she sought to control the attendees, control the audience, draw fuel from people's responses, cause her facade to be managed to say, hey, look at me, I'm important, I get to hang out at these celeb do's, and to more widely rehabilitate her image. Of course, it failed disastrously as a consequence of the mic grab moment demonstrating her self-importance and how the lady of the purple robe denied her. But we have another short instance arising from the Kevin Costner fundraiser, which shows that she gets snubbed again. Here's the footage. A very short clip, but you'll notice that people are quite content to shake hands with Prince Harry, but she offers her hand and nobody takes it. The reasons for this, well, they may be numerous. It could be that they just didn't see her proffering her hand. It could just be as simple as that. It might be that it is a reaction because people think, why are you here? We don't like you, and don't want to shake her hand. Whatever the reasons for a failure to take her hand, it's ultimately irrelevant because her narcissism will see it as a threat to control, and it will cause her minor wounding. As a consequence of that, when that person fails to take the proffered hand, she starts to feel a sensation of weakness, that she's unimportant, and immediately her narcissism must leap to her defense. Her fury would start to ignite, But of course, it can't be displayed on a stage in front of all of those people, because if it did, then it would cause her to lose control of far more people than the individual who snubbed her. And thus her facade management must kick in and protect that, keeping the ignited fury under control. But once again, we get to see a little fracture in the facade, because she turns away, thereby asserting control through withdrawal, essentially jettisoning that individual, thinking, "You rude bastard, well, I don't care about you." That enables her to subconsciously regain control. But you're able to see the effect of the fury that's rising within her, because you can see the clenching of the jaw, the teeth together, and the rictus smile that makes its appearance. To the uninitiated, they would think, oh, there she is on stage, smiling as she talks to somebody else. But what's actually happening is this is a seething narcissist. The fury is rising within, and the facade management immediately throws a fire blanket over it, seeking to keep it under control. But those of us with the eagle eyes can see the effect that it has, as there is the clash between the ignited fury and her facade management, which manifests as the clenched jaw and the teeth together. We now see another piece of footage which demonstrates another instance of Harry's wife not being particularly popular, where she's brushed off. Here comes the footage. Now, in this piece of footage, you actually see two brush-offs taking place. One brushing off Harry's wife, and the other where she brushes somebody else off. It's at the Invictus Games, and as they're leaving the arena, you can see that she is keen to get out, whereas Harry wants to stay and talk to people. And that she is given the brush off by Harry, because as she attempts to lead him out with the physical assertion of control, he halts to talk to people. Harry wants to engage with those individuals. He wants to talk to them, ask them if they're enjoying themselves, answer their questions, etc. Harry's wife isn't interested in any of that. She's only interested in making an appearance when it suits her, driven by the subconscious need for the prime aims. She has no genuine interest in the people that are attending. In fact, she can't stand them. They're beneath her. They're minions. They're nobodies. They're getting in the way. It's simply a case of show up, give me some adoration, and then fuck off. She wants to leave the arena and is trying to get Harry to go with her. He halts and in essence gives her the brush off, because as she attempts to tug him to come along, he rejects that. That causes wounding for her. However, once again, because of the presence of facade management, she can't grab Harry by the waist and haul him along. That would cause people to go, goodness me, look at that, what's going on there? Thus causing the loss of control over numerous tertiary sources. Instead, she has to keep going and then halts and then waits, and then he comes along, demonstrating that he's under control once again. Undoubtedly, her narcissism will probably cause her to raise this with him behind closed doors. I do wish that you keep walking with me and not stopping. It makes me look silly. Ordinarily, nobody would care. They would accept that their other half, who is the patron of the games, needs to talk to people. But because she's no longer interested in doing so, because the event has served its purposes, she expects that he should follow suit. As they continue walking, you'll notice that there's a gentleman wearing a sort of powder blue suit. You may have seen him in an earlier clip. He appears to be either a bodyguard or a guide. And he attempts to touch Harry's wife. And as I've explained in earlier videos about the issue of touch, his touch is uninvited, which is then perceived by her narcissism as a threat to control. What's the result? She brushes him off. She doesn't accept the touch, but rather has to react in a way which nullifies his threat to control, brushing away his hand and continuing to walk. This is because his intervention is perceived by her narcissism as a threat to control and must be nullified. 2 further examples, snubbed again and brushed off, that demonstrate Harry's wife's narcissism in action. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.